Welcome to World's Newsroom, where I collect all the interviews that came out after today's first day of Swiss stage, and I show you the highlights, tell you why you should watch them or read them, and I link them for you. So let's get right into it. We have a T1 owner interview on the LCK YouTube channel. These first two interviews are from the LCK YouTube channel. You can find them there. T1 owners asked who he thinks the scariest teams or players or even the jungler are, and basically he says like, no one. As long as we play our game, we'll be fine. After that, we have Ruler. Ruler had a really wholesome moment where he was asked just about like the Chinese fans because they were cheering for him, and he said like when he came and he saw how much love and passion they still had for him and how much they were cheering for him, he like got very overwhelmed. He was about to cry, like he had to really hold himself back. I thought that was so wholesome, like the fact that they still love him and just how much of a relationship he had in those 2 years, especially that first year on JDG. After that, we have a Mice Esports interview with Faker where Faker's asked like who do you really consider your rivals, your biggest rivals, and he says that his biggest rivals are mainly like either Uzi or Knight from the LPL, which haha, take that, Knight haters. And hold up, Chovy lovers, what's going on? I thought that was pretty interesting that he didn't mention Chovy. But then we have Cookie News. By the way, all of these are free today. I know yesterday there was one that wasn't free. The Faker interview wasn't. All of these are free, accessible online. Some of them are in Korean, but at least for the written one, you can kind of like try to translate it. But this one's with BrokenBlade, and BrokenBlade's talking about like the TES series. And he had, my highlight was how he said like, oh, I had a strategy coming into this game and it just completely failed, and like we failed very very quickly. Like we really need to adapt going forward. He goes over like a bunch of like what went wrong and like certain plays and Kanavi sort of getting ahead on Trundle, but it's definitely worth a read. And if you can't read Korean, like maybe use the translator and take it with a grain of salt. After that, we have another T1 interview. I think these next two interviews are with Hotspawn. This one's with Keria. And there's a couple things I want to highlight from this one. He talks about facing FlyQuest, like his impression of them, what he thought they would do well. He even talks about how, like in a previous interview, he did say that if they gave him Bard, like Inspired was not going to live in his jungle, and Inspired did have a bad game. I don't know if it was because of the Bard, but anyways, there another highlight was like you can see the title. Like he talks about his respect for Reckless, which is interesting. Obviously, the interviewer brought it up, but he said that he used to watch Reckless when he was younger, like growing up, and he has a lot of respect for him, which I didn't expect like Korean pros to even watch. Western players. I know Reckless is very famous, so it makes sense. But I thought that was pretty cool. His other interview was with Jojopyun, and this interview, Jojo kind of talks about what went wrong. You'll notice a theme: the teams that lose talk about what went wrong. Yeah, he expresses what went wrong versus KT. And my highlight was like he felt that they completely outdrafted top esports, which I guess. Wait, sorry, KT, not top esports. I was like, wait a minute, my brain farted. They felt like they completely outdrafted KT, but certain mistakes led to their defeat, like small errors that they can really get out of this game and be like, hey, we just have to fix these, right? We're not mentally boomed. We're not a bad team. If we just fix these few things, we can definitely win. So it was nice to see that he has like that resilience, I guess is the best word. Sometimes Western teams kind of collapse. The next one is a FOMOS interview. This is with Quid. Now, obviously, they won, so this is an awesome interview with Quid. He was very happy. He mentions how like they managed to actually beat BLG. My emphasis or like my highlight is he actually talks about how he felt like the lane matchups were like one of the keys, was really really important to winning. And he also says that he wants to face BDD and Jojopyun. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all these interviews and like all the details because I want you guys to actually go and watch them or listen to them. But this is purely in Korean. I don't think there's English subtitles, so there is that. The next one is from eFocus Esports. This is with both top esports coaches. I really like their interviews. I think they're like the host does a very very good job at asking questions. She did the interview with both the coaches at once, and they kind of break down what they did to beat G2, how it was basically like a jungle gap, how Kanavi played really really well, how he was like the MVP of the series. But my highlight was she asked about Kanavi's statement. Actually, paused on that frame. She asked about Kanavi's statement that he's like really confident in winning the championship, and the coach Homme says like, I'm not really sure if we're gonna win or not. I'm like, I agree that that's our goal, but I'm not sure if we're gonna win or not. But I think the meta really suits us right now. So like that's a positive point. He feels very confident in Kanafi, and like the meta just really fits him. So that was I thought that was really cool. That was like my highlight of the interview. The last two interviews are from Sheep Esports, and I'm going pretty fast because I got even more than last time. These aren't even all of them. There's just so many interviews that this would be like 30 minutes, and I don't really want to do that. But Sheep Esports has two interviews. One with Dhokla. My highlight was with the Dhokla one. Like, obviously, again, he talks about beating BLG. He talks about how they did it. He talks about how crazy it is. This is on my highlight. How crazy it is that he went from being teamless, which Armin pretty funny. He says like, "Oh, you were homeless," and then he was like, "Whoa, wait, I wasn't homeless. It was just teamless." He was teamless to like making it to Worlds and beating BLG. Like that. That is crazy. And then just like how he was able to keep the positive vibes in his mental when basically his jungler wasn't even there until like less than 24 hours ago. So I thought that was like a good perspective. And then he has another interview with Elyoya, who sort of again talks about the throw versus KT, kind of like what Jojopyun said. But my highlight here is actually just like a specific quote that he mentions, not even talking about KT, but talking about how like he's improved from losing to G2 and how losing to G2 was a learning process and they learned a lot. And the quote he says like, "Oh, I always say this: champions aren't forged through wins; they're forged by how they bounce back from their defeats, from their failures." That I thought was like a really good mindset to have because you don't always win, right? You have to like as Double Lift once said, lose is improve. So those are all the interviews. Lastly, I really like to do this. We're just gonna go through my predictions for who's gonna win between the rounds. You have Top Esports versus 100 Thieves. I'm sorry, 100 Thieves. I think this is probably one of the worst matchups you could have. This and Genji. Top Esports early games really good. It's going to be very difficult for you guys to go down gold and then try to win from there. So I'm giving it to Top Esports. AL versus Genji. This is my highlight of the day. I think Genji is going to win. I think Genji is like just the better team, but it is a best of one. There is a possibility for AL. I don't think it's like a 80-20. I think it's more of like a 65-35, maybe 60-40. I think Tarzan just completely gapped one of the best junglers in the world, and Peanut. This team is like firing on all cylinders. I'm really excited for what Tabe has prepared. And my God, this AL had to play Hanwha Life into Genji. Like that is difficult. KT versus TSW. I think KT are going to take it. I think TSW have a chance because, well, they're really good at fighting, and you saw what happened between Mad Lions Koi, and I think maybe TSW is a little bit better, but I'm still going to give it to KT because I think that they're like, honestly, after seeing how they played, I'm gonna give it to TSW. I think they can out team fight, out hands, and just like win. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to TSW. Next, CFO versus T1. This is a rematch I did not know I wanted. This is a really cool rematch. I'm going to give it to T1, but I would not be surprised if CFO pulls out all the stops. I just think T1 are playing, really well right now, and it is a best of one, so anything can happen. BLG versus Fnatic. I'm sorry, Fnatic. That's all I'm gonna say. MKOI versus G2. I think G2 are just gonna win. I think it's like a repeat of summer finals. PSG versus Hanwha Life. Hanwha Life. I'm sorry, PSG. Like that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to make this rated R. And then FlyQuest for VKS. I have FlyQuest. This is just another repeat of like summer finals. So I'm gonna go with FlyQuest. That's it from me. Again, I don't have. I had a BLG Elk interview that I posted. I probably should have mentioned that. The highlights. I mean, I'll just talk about it. He talks about how like disappointed he is and how even in his like wildest imaginations he didn't expect to play so poorly. And how like yeah, after losing, like pressure does start piling up. It's a really good interview. You should watch it. It's not too long. Yeah, that's it for me. I don't have any interviews from tomorrow, so I'll probably be doing another one of these episodes. Maybe even a few more, like a little bit longer, since I don't necessarily have anything. There are a lot of interviews that have been done but not been published, or have been published but I just couldn't find them, or by the time I'm recording this, like they weren't out. There are a lot of interviews, so I'm gonna do my best to like get as many of them as possible. But remember, like there's the French scene are doing interviews. The Korean, like I try to bring as many Korean ones as possible. Even the LCK did 3 of them. I think there was one with there's multiple ones. I'm pretty sure I saw them do one with River, but I felt like he didn't really add too much. So I'm not coming out with every single one. I'm trying to get out with the ones that I feel like, hey, these are ones I would like to talk about. But in general, all these interviews are really cool. I like to tell the stories of the players, and you guys sit in the comments did say like, hey, we like this. And since like press conferences are no longer a thing, so I can't really post those. I don't have anything to post. It kind of sucks that obviously I'm a content creator. And again, like it's difficult for me to get one-on-one interviews. I do get some. I'm very grateful to Elk who gave me BLG who gave me an interview today. But yeah, no interviews for me tomorrow. Hopefully the day after I will have an interview. But until then, I'll just be doing these.